The day they fired me from Maxwell Industries was ironically the same day I became a billionaire. Not that anyone in the sleek corporate headquarters knew that. I sat in Marcus Maxwell's office, watching him sneer at my simple black dress and modest jewelry while he signed my termination papers. "Appearance matters in corporate America, Alexandra," he said, his custom Tom Ford suit practically gleaming under the office lights. "Your casual approach to professional attire reflects poorly on the Maxwell brand. We maintain certain standards here." I glanced down at my dress, a handmade piece from a small Parisian atelier that cost more than his monthly salary, and bit back a smile. If he only knew that while he was critiquing my wardrobe, my tech company Nova Systems had just closed a deal that would revolutionize artificial intelligence. "Of course, Mr. Maxwell," I said quietly, playing the part of the humbled employee one last time. "Though I should remind you about the Thompson contract." He waved his hand dismissively. "Jessica will handle all your pending projects. She understands the importance of proper corporate image. Did you see her presentation outfit yesterday? That's how a real executive dresses." Jessica, his girlfriend and my replacement, had indeed made quite an impression in her knockoff designer suit. She'd also completely misunderstood the core technology requirements for the Thompson contract, but pointing that out now seemed pointless. "Clean out your desk by noon," Marcus continued, already turning to his phone. "Security will escort you out. And Alexandra." He looked up with that particular brand of corporate cruelty I'd come to expect. "Do try to dress better at your next job. Assuming you can find one after this." I gathered my termination papers and walked to my soon-to-be former office, thinking about the other papers waiting in my private safe. The ones showing that Nova Systems had just acquired controlling interest in Maxwell Industries' biggest client. The ones that would trigger a chain of events Marcus could never have anticipated. "Oh my God, you really got fired?" Jessica's voice carried across the open office plan. "I mean, I told Marcus that outfit was totally inappropriate for the Thompson meeting, but I didn't think he'd actually fire you." I continued packing my personal items, including the small photo of my grandmother that had sat on my desk for the past 2 years. She'd been my first investor, believing in Nova Systems when it was just lines of code and ambitious dreams. "Don't worry," Jessica followed me, her heels clicking aggressively on the marble floor. "I'm sure you'll find something appropriate to your skills. Maybe retail? They're less strict about dress codes." My phone buzzed. A message from my CEO, technically my employee though he played the public face of Nova Systems while I worked in the shadows. "Patent approval confirmed. Stock offering priced at $250 per share. Financial press briefing in 1 hour." I slipped the phone back into my pocket and picked up my box of belongings. 2 years of playing the mid-level tech consultant at Maxwell Industries was about to pay off in ways Jessica and Marcus couldn't imagine. "Security will take you down," Jessica said with fake sympathy. "Can't have unauthorized personnel wandering around. You understand." The security guard Mike walked me to the elevator. Once the doors closed, his professional demeanor shifted. "Everything set for tomorrow, Miss Stewart?" I nodded. Mike, like several other key employees at Maxwell Industries, had been quietly working for me for months. "Make sure the cameras in the executive conference room are working perfectly at 9 a.m. I want to see their faces when the news breaks." The lobby was quiet as I walked out of Maxwell Industries for the last time. My modest Toyota Camry waited in the parking lot, the perfect cover for someone trying to appear struggling after a sudden termination. Inside my apartment, actually the entire top floor of a luxury building I owned through a shell company, I changed into what Jessica would probably consider a proper business outfit, a custom-made suit that cost more than her annual salary. My real office waited upstairs, where Nova Systems had been quietly revolutionizing artificial intelligence while Maxwell Industries played at being a tech leader. My phone buzzed again. "NYSE opening bell in 30 minutes. Media already calling about the Maxwell Industries connection." I smiled, thinking about Marcus and Jessica watching the financial news tomorrow morning. About them realizing that the unprofessional employee they just fired was about to become their biggest nightmare. The Thompson contract they thought Jessica would handle? The client was already signing with Nova Systems, having seen the true potential of our AI technology. Maxwell Industries stock would start dropping within hours of the announcement. I picked up my grandmother's photo from the box of office belongings. "You were right, Grandma," I whispered. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's proving yourself right in ways they never imagined. Opening my laptop, I began reviewing the press release that would shake the corporate world tomorrow. The story of how a casually dressed tech consultant had built a billion-dollar AI empire right under her employer's nose was about to become legend. Marcus's words echoed in my head, "Dress better next time." I glanced at my reflection in the window, at the woman who had just revolutionized artificial intelligence while playing the part of a dispensable employee. "Oh, I dress appropriately next time, Marcus." When I walked into his office tomorrow as the owner of Nova Systems, wearing success that no designer label could match. But first I had a press conference to prepare for. One that would teach Maxwell Industries a valuable lesson about judging books by their covers. Or in this case, judging tech geniuses by their choice of workwear. The real show was about to begin. The morning after my termination, I sat in my real office at Nova Systems, watching multiple screens as the financial networks prepared for the opening bell. My casual black dress had been replaced by a perfectly tailored Armani suit. Not that appearance was the point anymore. "Miss Stewart," my assistant Sarah appeared at the door. "The board members are ready and the press is gathering in the lobby. Maxwell Industries executives just arrived for the routine client meeting as planned." I smiled, picturing Marcus and Jessica sitting in the conference room downstairs, probably rehearsing their pitch to keep the Thompson contract. They had no idea they were about to be part of a very different meeting. Breaking news, the CNBC anchor's voice filled the room. Tech startup Nova Systems set to go public this morning in what analysts are calling the most anticipated IPO of the year. The company's revolutionary AI technology. My phone started buzzing with notifications. First from Jessica. "OMG, Nova Systems is the company trying to steal our Thompson contract." Marcus is furious. Then from other Maxwell employees who'd witnessed my humiliating exit yesterday. "Did you see the Nova Systems news? Their AI makes our tech look ancient." I stood up, straightening my jacket. "Sarah, is everything in place?" She nodded, a slight smirk playing on her lips. "Security cameras are live streaming to your tablet." Marcus just ordered his third coffee. Jessica's already complained about the temperature in the conference room twice. The elevator ride down to the conference floor was quiet. I could hear my heels clicking against the marble, the same sound Jessica had used to assert her dominance yesterday. Through the glass walls I could see Marcus pacing, his Tom Ford suit already showing signs of stress. "The client's late," he was saying. "Jessica, call them again. We can't lose this contract." I paused outside the door, watching through the glass as Jessica frantically dialed numbers on her phone. My phone buzzed again. The stock exchange confirming Nova Systems trading would begin in exactly 3 minutes. "Mr. Maxwell," I said, walking into the room. "I believe you're waiting for the Thompson contract representatives?" Marcus spun around, his face contorting in confusion and anger. "Alexandra? How did you get in here?" "Security." "Oh, security works for me," I said calmly, setting my briefcase on the conference table. "In fact, this entire building does. Nova Systems acquired it last month." Jessica dropped her phone. "What are you talking about? You were just a mid-level tech consultant who didn't dress professionally enough?" I opened my briefcase and pulled out a folder. "Actually, I'm Alexandra Stewart, founder and CEO of Nova Systems. Though you might know us better as the company that's about to revolutionize artificial intelligence." Marcus's face had lost all color. On the wall-mounted TV behind him, the financial news was showing Nova Systems' logo as traders prepared for the opening bell. "This is impossible," he stammered. "You're nothing. We fired you yesterday." "Yes, for being unprofessional. For not meeting Maxwell Industries standards." I gestured to the screens around the room. "Shall we watch what the market thinks of my standards?" The opening bell rang. Nova Systems' stock price appeared on the screen, $250 per share, valuing the company at over $12 billion. In the corner, a smaller ticker showed Maxwell Industries stock beginning to plummet as news of the Thompson contract cancellation spread. "The Thompson contract," Jessica whispered, finally understanding. "You were never going to let us keep it." "No," I confirmed. "Thompson International has been working with Nova Systems for months. They, unlike some, understand that true value isn't about designer suits or corporate appearances." Marcus collapsed into a chair, his perfect posture crumbling. Why? Why work here at all if you had your own company? I walked to the window looking out at the city skyline. When I first pitched my AI technology to Maxwell Industries 3 years ago, you laughed me out of this same conference room. Said I lacked the professional polish to understand corporate technology needs. Turning back to face them, I continued, so I decided to show you exactly what you missed. I took a mid-level position, watched how your outdated systems failed to meet client needs and built something better. All while you were busy critiquing my wardrobe choices. Jessica was frantically scrolling through news articles on her phone. Oh my God, she's on the cover of Forbes. Tech's newest billionaire. About that, I said, pulling out another document. Nova Systems isn't just going public today. We're also announcing our first major acquisition. Marcus's head snapped up. No. Yes, I smiled. Maxwell Industries board approved the sale an hour ago. They were quite eager to accept our offer once they saw your quarterly projections. Turns out losing the Thomson contract was just the beginning of your problems. The room fell silent except for the TV announcer's voice. Nova Systems stock continues to soar as news of the Maxwell Industries acquisition breaks. You can't do this. Marcus stood up, his anger overriding his shock. I'll fight it. With what resources? I asked calmly. Your company's stock is dropping by the minute. Your biggest client just signed with us. And your board has already approved the sale. I walked to the door, pausing to look back at them. Oh, and about professional standards? The entire executive team will be reviewed for their actual technical expertise, not their wardrobe choices. As I left the conference room, I could hear Jessica's muffled sobs and Marcus's string of curses. But I had a press conference to attend. One where I would explain how a casually dressed tech consultant had outmaneuvered one of the industry's oldest companies. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from Marcus. Please. Can we discuss this? I have access to my family's private jet. I smiled, thinking of my own jet waiting at the airport. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's success they never saw coming, dressed in whatever you choose to wear. The aftermath of Nova Systems' IPO and the Maxwell Industries acquisition played out exactly as I'd planned, though even I couldn't have predicted the sheer entertainment value of watching my former colleagues scramble to adjust to the new reality. I sat in what used to be Marcus's office, now my secondary workspace, when I needed to oversee the Maxwell transition, reviewing the countless emails and messages that had flooded in since the announcement. Miss Stewart, Sarah appeared at the door, barely containing her amusement. Marcus and Jessica are here for their performance reviews. They've been waiting in the lobby for 45 minutes. Jessica's changed outfits twice. I glanced at the security feed on my tablet. Jessica had indeed swapped her usual flashy designer wear for something that hilariously mimicked my unprofessional style from last week. Marcus looked like he hadn't slept in days, his perfect appearance noticeably disheveled. Send them in, I said, turning to face the floor-to-ceiling windows. And Sarah? Make sure the cameras are recording. They entered cautiously, like wounded animals expecting another blow. Jessica clutched a portfolio to her chest. Probably a desperate attempt to prove her technical worth. Alexandra. I mean Miss Stewart, Marcus began, his voice lacking its usual arrogance. We've prepared a comprehensive presentation about our potential value to Nova Systems. Have you? I swiveled my chair slowly, channeling every dismissive gesture he'd ever used against me. Tell me, Marcus, what exactly do you think you can offer a company that just revolutionized artificial intelligence? Jessica stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly. I've been studying Nova's technology architecture and I think. Really? I cut her off. Because last week you couldn't even understand the basic AI parameters for the Thomson contract. The same contract you assured Marcus you could handle after my, what did you call it? Overdue termination? The portfolio slipped from her grasp, papers scattering across the floor. Market analyses, technical diagrams, all downloaded from public sources, all hopelessly outdated compared to Nova's actual technology. Please, Marcus tried again. My family has connections. Your family, I interrupted, standing up, just called me this morning asking to invest in Nova Systems' next funding round. Apparently they understand which way the wind is blowing better than you do. I walked around the desk, enjoying how they both took an involuntary step back. But I didn't call you here to discuss your futures with Nova. In fact, your positions were eliminated in this morning's restructuring. What? Jessica's carefully maintained composure cracked. You can't just... Can't what? Fire someone for not meeting company standards. I raised an eyebrow. Isn't that exactly what you two did to me last week? Marcus slumped against the wall. So this whole thing, buying Maxwell, the IPO timing, was it all planned just to get revenge? I finished for him. No, Marcus. Unlike you, I don't make business decisions based on personal vendettas. Nova Systems acquired Maxwell Industries because your company's infrastructure, despite its outdated technology, provides a useful distribution network for our AI systems. I picked up 2 envelopes from my desk. Your severance packages are generous. More generous than the nothing you offered me. You might want to review the non-compete clauses carefully, though. They're quite comprehensive. Jessica started to cry, mascara tracking down her cheeks. What are we supposed to do now? Well, I said thoughtfully, I hear retail is always hiring. They're less strict about dress codes there. The look on their faces as their own words were thrown back at them was almost worth the 2 years I'd spent playing the underappreciated employee. Security will escort you out, I added, pressing a button on my desk. Can't have unauthorized personnel wandering around. You understand. Mike appeared at the door, barely concealing his grin. He'd been looking forward to this moment almost as much as I had. As they were led away, I called out one last time. Oh, and Marcus? About that family jet you offered to let me borrow. I gestured to the window where my private helicopter was landing on the building's helipad. I prefer my own transportation. Later that evening, as I reviewed the final numbers from Nova's first day of trading, Sarah brought in a special delivery. From the Maxwell Industries executive floor cleanup. It was my old nameplate from my former desk, the one Jessica had so eagerly removed after my termination. I placed it on my shelf, next to Nova Systems IPO documentation and the Forbes magazine with my cover story.